Hello Dirtfish Rally friends, we've had another great day here at the Monte Carlo Rally. Saturday has delivered. Oh, we've seen some tremendous performances out there today.
Fantastic action all day, Cole, but it's in terms of the colour, it's been a bit more brown than white. Not quite the Monte, a lot more mud pulled out onto the road than we've seen for a few years. But yeah, just sensational.
Let's talk about that battle at the top. Don't forget, Sebastian Ogier started the day in the lead. Look, he's had a fantastic day out there. He's done nothing spectacular. Hasn't won a stage today, but I think right from the get-go this morning, he's been managing that lead. He said it a couple of times that, it's not a big enough lead to be able to manage it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. He's in full Sebastian Ogier Monte Masterclass mode, which is quite a big phrase to use. But I think we've seen this so many times in the past, just how good he is in these kind of conditions on this particular rally. And I completely agree. I think he could have gone faster if he needed to, but he's recognised he doesn't have to. And that battle you've referenced there, David, for the guys fighting behind him, the fact they keep swapping positions is helping Ogier build that lead as well, because he's got a different guy behind him all the time. So the job's far from done. There's 3 stages. We hear it could be quite interesting conditions as well, but with a 20-odd second lead, he's good enough to take this one home, I think.
I'm not sure though. There is a lot of talk about the weather coming in tonight, and particularly Seb said himself, potential for snow on Turini. But if it does come, then tyre choice, particularly because that's the final stage in the loop. So you've got to get through. If it's snowing on the Turini and nowhere else, you can't afford just to take 4 studded winter tyres.
Managed to increase a little bit the gap, not that much, but as long as it's going that way, I'm taking it. 20 seconds is nothing you can relax on to finish the rally, but at least I'm happy to have it in my advantage. So tomorrow still look tricky. The weather tonight looks not very clear. Maybe some rain, maybe some snow on Turini. So we'll have to check what happened during the night and put the right tyres in the car and finish the job tomorrow.
Yeah, it really has been a super day for Sebastian Ogier. He has fractionally extended his lead over Elfyn Evans once. That is the battle, and for me this is also a little bit of a factor in Ogier's performance. As you mentioned, look, there's a proper battle going on behind for second place. Elfyn, Formeau, swapping places all day. They're both still very much in a fight, and we'll come to the third person that's in that battle. But let's talk first about Elfyn Evans. You talked to him at the end of the day. What did you make of his demeanour?
He seems far more relaxed this year, I think. And I know it's the start of the year, there's not any baggage from any previous rounds or championship permutations to consider, but he does just seem, as I said, relaxed, comfortable. We know how good he is in terms of getting the car home. It's his big strong suit in Elfyn, his consistency, but you look at the back end of last year, it's something we mentioned in our live stream on Thursday, and by the way, go and check that out. I'm going to leave like this, I'm going to remember what side of the screen it is up here. We did a 3-hour live stream with all the guys outside Casino Square for the start of the rally, well worth checking out. But even there, Elfyn was already sort of referencing the fact that he just, I don't know, it's a new year, it's a new challenge with the tyres and everything, but he just seems in somehow a better mindset. So yeah, I think deeply impressive, but as you've mentioned, really yo-yoing interesting battle with Formeau that's gone either way throughout the entire day. It's been brilliant to watch.
It really has. David, the two of them, as Formeau was in the front, he had the tip of his nose ahead. He didn't even get his full nose ahead of Elfyn. What do you think? They're going into the last 3 stages. You've talked about the snow on Turini. What you haven't mentioned is we're expecting a really tricky opening stage as well tomorrow. Very early, potentially lots of ice. How difficult a situation is that going to be with those two so close and battling so hard?
This is where, when you're driving a car for the first time, you get to sort of 97, 98% of familiarity and it's comfortable and you can do that stuff. But tomorrow, Formeau Adrian thinks he's been in a fight so far. Nothing compared to tomorrow. And tomorrow is when potentially the most difficult conditions are coming.
Formeau continues very much to impress. When he's had to pick the pace up today, he has. And again, for me, it's not been an absolute gung-ho approach from Formeau this weekend. It's not been, I'm just going to throw everything at this. He's very much gone about it in a sensible, measured way, and he just continues to impress me. He looks so comfortable just behind them, without any question for me, the driver of the day. He's won 4 out of the 6 stages. It is Tänak. Tänak found something, David, this afternoon that was just an absolute joy to watch and to behold. It was like the Tänak of old. He was so comfortable in that car. You knew he could do anything in it.
We saw a real kind of racioit today, and what we also saw was, again, another interesting facet of the day was that his admission that, you know, he's not great at driving the car when he's uncomfortable, which was really interesting. And it also demonstrates that, you know, that he's rarely, as he, you know, you go back to 19 when he was super comfortable and confident in that territory, dominated. If Hyundai can get that car absolutely to his liking, potentially
he could do it again. Do you know what? We wouldn't have got any sort of admission from White last year, the year before. All we got was reasons why he wasn't able to perform. No admissions of weakness, and it's refreshing. And is that, do you think, translating into maybe his ability to say, oh, I'm just going to go for this and drive this car?
What's your weakness? Have you got a weakness? Are you going to tell us about a weakness now?
I have many weaknesses. And you know what? I'm not afraid to admit it either. I'm really not afraid
This show's
to
not long enough.
It's not. That is another show. It's a partly kind of family show. It's a partly after dark show.
This morning was actually very, very disappointing after first stage. To be honest, the main thing has been that I didn't get any kilometer on the new tire before the rally, especially the slick, you know, and I had no idea where to be with the car setup, and I've been just trying to understand, you know, during the first part of the rally, but you know, I've been just looking, and I would say this morning we started to understand the direction. I can feel myself as well. It's really my weak point, you know. If car is not working, I'm not able to deliver good times, but obviously when it's working, I can really, you know, go in my rhythm and really enjoy, and then the times are coming as well.
But let's talk a little bit, maybe, and quickly, David, about Kalle Rovanpera. I don't know what's going on with him. He just seems to, he's not giving up, but it's kind of, well, it is what it is. Bring on Sweden.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's that, and he knows immediately that he's going to be in a good place on the road in Sweden.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I would imagine that he'll turn it up a little bit, potentially, totally dependent on the conditions. I guess he'll give it a bigger push, but again, you know, we're into that place of he's got points from 5th place, as long as he gets to the finish, of course. Slight change from last year, but there is 10 points on offer, 10 bonus points, and do you jeopardise those the points for 5th to chase 10? I don't know, but I think you're right. He's in that place where he now doesn't want to take any more risks. He talked a lot yesterday about needing to get more time on the tarmac tyre, and he himself says, you know, tarmac's not his favourite choice. This isn't his favourite event. I think he's just looking forward to Sunday night in Casino Square, and then, like you say, north.
Bring it on, bring on the snow and ice, and we may see quite a bit of snow and ice tomorrow. Katsuta is clearly struggling a fair bit, but you know, he took a stage win today, which was impressive to see. You know, he's not made you go wow like Tänak has, but I've been quietly impressed by Katsuta because he hasn't been well, and anyone who's had this terrible winter flu this year will know how difficult it's been. Huge amounts of pressure on him. We talked about that last night. He's kept it neat and tidy, and he's shown the pace where he's had to.
Yeah, he's done what he's had to do. And I know that's a very cliche response to that question, but the daft thing to do would be to try too hard and do anything reckless, particularly because he's not registered for manufacturer points here either. So essentially he's only driving for his own championship. So it's kind of completely up to him how he wants to approach that. This rally is difficult enough without factoring in the fact you're not feeling particularly great behind the wheel. So yeah, I think quietly impressive and great to see the pace is there when he needs it with that stage win today.
What about the M Sport boys out there today? Well, Gregoire Munster, many congratulations to Gregoire Munster and Louis Lauka. First stage of the morning, their first stage win of the championship. 39 starts. Their first rally together in the WRC was here 6 years ago. They've taken a stage win. Things have got better and better. Forget about the issues that they had last night. Take a look at the stage times. It is all real, proper, confidence-building stuff from Munster this weekend, David.
Yep.
He won't be bothered about where he is in the standings. Nope. He'll look at those stages and go, yeah, I can do it. I can mix it.
It's that kind of event goal. We've said it time and again. You get out of this event in a good place, comfortable with what you've done, happy with your stage times. You go to the next round on an absolute high. And
his teammate Josh McElwain has not got carried away at all this weekend. Nope. He's not got carried away by the fact that at times his stage times have been behind Rally 2 cars. That hasn't bothered him.
It is all about learning this weekend. That is it, and it's impossible to underestimate how big a challenge this is. None of us can relate to it. We don't drive rally cars for a living, but
you've done it once or twice.
Yeah, but
and if you want to, don't forget, if you want to drive a rally car, particularly in the winter conditions, Durfish has got you covered. Check the website.
does indeed. But I think, yeah, McElwain, the thing he absolutely cannot do this weekend is put it off. And why is that, Colin? Going to be your phrase?
Because you learn nothing. You learn nothing watching your opponents drive by while you're sitting in a ditch. It's just, you know, and it is so true.
Every stage, every kilometre is something new. It's obviously a dry day today, more like, okay, it was damp in places, but more dry than yesterday. Speeds are going up, the pace is going up, and yeah, it's just getting used to everything. Obviously the pace notes are quite different from Rally 2 and how to, let's say, manipulate them into a Rally 1 car. And Owen is a co-driver, it's new for him as well, so yeah, it's just trying to build that.
Have you ever taken on a challenge as big as this in your rally career?
I don't think, never mind my rally career, never mind in my life. It's been, yeah, even since it was announced a month ago, it's a month ago more or less now, it's been very hard mentally, there's no doubt about it. There's times you think, yeah, okay, it's cool, but then obviously there's times you're in the middle of it and it's the thick of it and you have to work, so it's just balancing that there. But honestly, we're glad to get through to this point. We've got the mileage under our belts, 1 day to go, and it's still a big day at that.
Terry Neuville, boys, the third of our high Hyundai. He's had the most, well, strange rally. Again, some sorts of issues out there today. And
sometimes
little
rallies
wax
just
bangs.
don't go.
Yes.
You get these things, don't you, where,
Yes.
and potentially now Thierry's in the mindset of, let's just get all of those small things out of the way in one rally and then get on with it. You know, he'll, as much as Calais is feeling, let's just see the end of this one and go to Sweden, I'm sure there's an element with Thierry. It's funny though, isn't it? You know, that roller coaster of emotions of coming in as world champion, everybody, you know, 3 hours in Monaco, us talking to him about, oh, incredible, what have we been doing, number one on the door. And then, you know, you're not your hero, not quite to zero, but, you know, this rally in particular can bring you back down to earth with a bump.
Absolute centre of attention.
Yeah.
And then no one's talking about him. Everyone's talking about the four boys at the front. It must be quite difficult. You know, tomorrow will be all about those 10 points for Thierry Neuville. And depending on what happens with the weather, we don't know. It looks to me as if maybe the first few cars on the road might struggle a little bit, particularly if we get some fresh snow. But you don't know. This morning, we saw the first few cars on the road having the best of the conditions.
Yeah, he has to be. Although he did say to us, interestingly, that he's not sure how many he can actually buy because he's not feeling particularly happy with the car. On the points, I'm actually really quite interested to see how this will all play out, because just for anybody that isn't completely caught up, obviously we used to have last year Saturday points. They are now gone, so there is no points reserved or locked in for today. They're all won tomorrow. So particularly in that fight at the front, second, third and fourth, these guys don't need any more motivation to push, but they're not trying to think about protecting what they got yesterday. Everything they gain is both Sunday points, Paris Stage points and overall points, so it's all on the line, which I think makes it even spicier.
It is going to be a spicy old day tomorrow. Sammy Pajari, again a debutant in a Rally 1 car here at Monte Carlo. So much to learn from him, and he's doing the job, he really is. Some decent times out there, but more impressively, no real mistakes from Pajari. He's looking solid out on the stages. What about WRC 2 then? Well, there's a lot of brotherly love out there. There really is. Johan Rossell and Leo Rossell. They're dominating. Well, they're not dominating because Leo's in a battle with Eric Camelli. The French are dominating, it's fair to say that, in WRC2. Rossell is a quality driver, David, and he's shown it again today.
Rossells.
The Rossells,
quality drivers.
That is absolutely correct. It's both of them.
Nothing to add there. Great day for them both.
Well, do you know what? 6:30 something, which is less than 11 hours away until the opening stage tomorrow morning. From what we're hearing, and listen, I am the man who loves a little bit of drama when it comes to weather.
Really?
Sometimes, David. That might be one of my weaknesses. that you know, occasional over-exaggeration to create drama. But what we're hearing, a little bit of sleet, maybe a little bit of snow overnight, definitely some ice out there tomorrow. As David's mentioned, tyre choice critical, road position could be critical. Before we go, David, driver of the day from you.
Tänak.
Yeah, Luke Barry?
Yeah, Tänak.
I'm going to go with Tänak. I'm going with
It's clean
Tänak.
sweep.
Can't be anyone other than Tänak. But if you disagree with us, or agree even, in the comments below, let us know who your driver of the day is. Folks, it's been a joy having you with us today. Big day tomorrow. Don't miss any of it. Stay tuned. Dirtfish.com and all of our social channels. We'll see you tomorrow.